amazing viewers. Thank you so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you are connecting from. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you so much and remain blessed.
Our political process can be strengthened as we prepare for the general elections, of course, with our eye on what is adjudged as perhaps the most credible election we ever had in Nigeria, June 12. Moyo Ekundaya joins us this morning. He is a leadership, development consultant and organizational strategist. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
I don't even know where to start with you this morning because all of the issues are just coming. First of all, your own assessment of how we as a people did with the primaries of the major political parties in the course of the week gone by.
Well, we had the primaries of the two major political parties, the PDP, the People's Democratic Party, and also the APC, the ruling party.
But we had the Labour Party and NNPP as
okay, well? Yeah. We have the Labour Party, the NNPP as well. But really...
As well as the ADC.
ADC, well, there are so many of these parties now, yes. And it's even good. At least up to about 14 candidates or 15 candidates have come up. But when you look at it, our politics is highly monetized. And this is my concern. Which means if you have ideas, but you don't have money, you don't have a chance in the Nigerian politics, in the context we are. And that is saddening.
That song that we played earlier is about 3-4 years old. No? Yeah, about 4 or 5 years old. Are you saying that that message hasn't gotten home?
Yes, it has not gotten home. Because, and I mean, actually, it's not just about the leaders. Also the followers. Also the followers. Because the followers, too, they are not ready to do their civic responsibility unless one way or the other they are induced. Not just the delegates. People look at the delegate now because it's primary. By the time we move to the election, like you are talking about the Ekiti election next week now, it's Saturday that's coming, you see. And incidentally, that's my home state, you know. And I was talking with somebody in Ekiti, you know, somebody, a close relative, and said, how about this election? And that was just about last week or so. And the person and the sister told me that, in the churches we have been told, go and vote according to your conscience, go and do the right thing. You see, and passing the message to somebody in the market. And the person just turned and said, what do you mean? What do you mean? We no, don't preach that to me, sister. Anything they give me now, I'm going to collect it and I'm going to do whatever they ask me to do. So we still have this among the followers.
Mr. Ekundaya, between 2019 and now, you will agree that Nigerians have become even more impoverished than before the last election.
That's right.
So you are asking them to vote their conscience. I mean, a market woman who hasn't sold a lot because the prices of her goods are going up and up. So she's getting fewer and fewer customers. So there's less money in her pocket. Cost of living is increasing every day, but her income is not increasing. And you are preaching to her, go out there and vote your conscience. My brother, how is that going to work? When this is her opportunity to collect what she sees as her own share of the national cake.
Now, it is good for Nigerian followers because I'm a followership researcher. I always emphasize on this. As long as we look at the immediate gain, as long as it is, you know, like you said in the Ekiti Common Parlance, the Boko Sebe. That means just get something so that you can make a photo. So as long as we look at this ephemeral something, it's just like the biblical Esau and Jacob acting. Esau was hungry, famished, coming in and said, well, I don't care about that right. Just give me this food now. As long as you know the latter end of Esau, he missed the covenant. So as long as many of the followers, we are fixated on the immediate gain, on what we can get now, and then we switch our votes for that highest bidder, then it means we only have that. How about the future of our children, about our grandchildren? How about the education? How about our health? How about other areas? How about the environment?
So what would you say to those who say that our leaders actually impoverish us on purpose so that they can use us at such a time?
Well, if maybe in the last 10 years, maybe the past decade, but now in this digital age, we need to reset our brain. Nigerians need to reset their brains. And, I have my 2 daughters in the house. Last week we were talking, and they were all, galvanizing themselves now, to just go and get their PPC. And I was looking at them, is this the right time now? Or anyway, you can still do it. It's better late than never. You see, but we're talking and talking. And it's like the youths are disenchanted from all that is playing out. And it's good our leaders are hearing this. They are disenchanted about, PDP stuff, APC stuff. The youth are disenchanted. They wanted the change. You see, but invariably, like what happened in the NSAS, they don't know how to find this way. And I was discussing with my daughters, I look at them, I say, look, the thing is, if you don't go and join political parties, and that is it, whether you like it or not, you have to join them. And not just joining them here, you join them at the world level. You begin to participate with them. You are not making road, especially the popular political parties. Join them. Don't say you are abandoning them. Is it because if you do that for 2023, it's too late. The train has left the station. Maybe 2027, but for 2023, the train has left the station.
I'm happy we are talking about, you raised this now because this conversation is about strengthening our political process. Now, reference June 12th.
Yeah.
1993 was 30 years ago? 30 years ago.
Yeah, about 30 years.
Okay. 30 years ago. And you talked about us planning for the future.
That's right.
Now, June 12 was a landmark. It's one we will never forget. It's etched in our history, political history as a country. Thankfully, this government has recognized it and all of that. Are there lessons in this 30 years ago, almost 30 years ago, that are useful for us today? Back then, all of the dice was against the person that's claimed to have won the election. He was an inexperienced politician. He had a Muslim ticket. The National Assembly at the time had more people in the opposition party as opposed to his own SDP. The NRC dominated the National Assembly at the time. So what are the lessons that we may have lost into history over the past 30 years? As a people, a sizable number of people who are in leadership today were young, much too young at the time. So what are the lessons that you think we need to draw from that 30-year history that might still be useful for us now?
One thing I want to just let you know, Ayo, just like Auntie Alero was saying the other time, from the premise she was coming from before asking the question, the economy has worsted many things. That's the language that we use. You see? And unfortunately, that is it. And politicians, they are playing on this. Unlike those years you refer to, how much was, common item being sold in the market at that time.
Even at that time, you remember that the 1979 government had an economy. By the Obasanjo government that handed over to the military, the civilian government of Shagari, had an economy. That Shagari government began to complain of a bad economy.
But they came up
with the austerity measures because things were getting worse. Now, it was because things weren't getting any better that the military took over at the time, pointing accusing fingers at the politicians of the day. So it's not like, that's why I said one of the things that we said in the opening is that, look, we seem to praise the previous government every time.
Now, let me just cut it. There's something there, there's a missing link there that we need to know. Let's even leave the economy issue alone. Values, we need to come to it now. Values at that time, values of average Nigerian at that time, what you value, what I value, has changed over time.
Start with life.
Yes. You see, People value. Look at the time of the leadership of Obafemi Awolowo. You know, conversation all about that was nothing about money. You see, people in the Southwest, Ekiti, Ondo, and all the rest of the people. Oh, you are what are you doing for free education, free health? I still remember the 4 cardinal programs, and you could see crowd of people in his campaign, the campaign train all over at that time. So it was a kind of value. You see Nigerian followers, and that is, we have to revert back to that. That is a useful lesson. We have to revert back to that now, to value. You see, can we look at the pedigree of this personality? What has he done for us before? Can he make it to happen again? It's not about he has come with money. Oh, he's come with a war chest. Oh,
are you saying that we don't ask those questions these days?
Yes, and Auntie Alero, we need to be asking those questions. We need to be asking, what's the pedigree of this person, this personality? What has he done before? What office has he occupied?
When do we have the opportunity to ask that question? Because you talked about delegates.
We have the opportunity.
Just a second. You tell me where that opportunity is, because we have a delegate system, right? Mm-hmm. And the delegates are in the political parties.
Yeah.
So if we are going to ask those questions, at what point do we, the followers, begin to ask those questions?
Good. And that's why I said, referring to the youth. And now let me now say, all-inclusive, apart from the youth. We need to, is it because this one we are saying now, like you are right, for 2023 is gone. Because we have the presidential candidates are determined. But going forward, the average...
No, Mr. Akindayo, I do beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
Okay.
To butt in. The presidential candidates are now being put forward by their parties.
Yes.
But we have not voted.
Yeah. Good.
And we are the ones who are going to determine
which
of those people who have been put forward is going to be our president.
But do you know what, Auntie Alero? We are already to side with Ayo on that. We are already being constrained to choose between these 15 candidates to be our president. That is the danger.
How?
Okay, I will tell you. Now, you see, the way it works is with all these candidates now, definitely in democracy you will choose. And democracy is a game of number. So at the end of the day, is these 15 people, I'm not sure, 15 or 16 candidates, one of them will match as the president. Okay. And if I may tell you something here that will shock you, which later you will say, yes, I said that. Because as a researcher, I've looked at it from 1999 to 2019. And this is it. That's where Nigeria has to watch it. Among the 2 most popular political parties, either of them is our president. So take it or leave it. Yes, even though the third force, they say they are galvanizing now, wait, hold it. You have your own perspective. You see, but that has likely played out. Unless 2023 will be an exception. But it will be an exception.
Mr. Akindayo.
Yes.
People have been saying that they are tired of these 2 parties. Doesn't that count for anything?
It was said that in 2019, Auntie Alero, 2019. It was said, the same thing was said. 2011, the same thing was said. You see, but, you see, the way the things play out, let me tell you, by the time we enter into the campaign train now, you begin to see it. You begin to see people changing. Money inducement will come in. Other things will come in.
That's all right.
So that is what I'm saying. Looking forward, 2027, it is time. Especially I'm speaking to the youth now. If they really desire change, then they should be thinking of organizing, I've said it on this program before, organizing their own group together. They may not even form a party yet, but a group that will be identified, a group that will begin to speak to the conscience of the nation.
Okay. Dr. Kner, one of the things that has played in my mind is, you know, what we're talking about here is strengthening our political process. What has been missing over the past few years is that of trust in the system. Right. And because the system hasn't thrown up the kind of people that generally a good number of people can have confidence in and say, okay, this fellow is going to deliver the goods to Nigerians and all of that. And, you know, just as we said earlier, you know, at the beginning of the program, we select one person to govern at the federal level, one person in each state to govern at the state level. But they work within systems. Is it a problem of the systems not delivering, or the visionlessness of the or the inadequate vision or lack of whatever it is,
lack of it
that is not making the people we elect, the top leaders, perform as we expect, or we're expecting too much of individuals, single individuals, when they have a defective system to work with.
We have not really held our leaders accountable over time, irrespective of the political platform. You see, and that is a call out to followers. It's not just putting them there and then we realize, oh, election have been won. How many House of Assembly members have constituency office? How many House of Rep members have constituency office? Functional one. Even those who are in leadership position in the National Assembly, how many senators have constituency office? Now, do we demand from them quarterly, you should be having a town hall meeting with us? Or even if it is maybe based on 6-month basis, biannually, you come here, we tell you, we don't even see them. And you know what? Like one senator was saying in the Southwest, I won't mention him now on this program, when the person was called upon and said, well, you have not done anything for your constituency. And she retorted back by saying, what else do they want? During the time of the election, they were asking me for money, and I gave them, and that's all, and that settles it. And for that one, you can't see any no dialogue, no town hall meeting. So what are we saying? So you can see that many of our representatives, they just represent themselves. They stand for themselves. And that is a fallout of the system. And it should not be tolerated going forward. Even in 2023, we should hold our leaders accountable. If you're in the House of Assembly, then we should hold them accountable. If you're in the House of Rep, the same thing, Senate. Even our governors, what stopped them from having town hall meeting with us every quarter, to report back? And they have manifesto, they have agenda, and the citizens should engage them based on that manifesto. Sir, you say you will speak, you will do this, you will start this. We have not seen you starting. Let him explain. Let her explain. And that's it. Then we'll be going forward.
Do you think that the people are, they have enough understanding of what is required of them as citizens who have elected these members of rep, these senators, these governors? Do you think we have a full understanding of the power that we have to interrogate them, as you have said, and to make them accountable?
I agree with you, Auntie Alero, because
it's a question.
No, it's a question. Let me answer it this way. Really, it's a thing I've been saying, that our followers need to be equipped. They need to be empowered. With that, they will be emboldened. You see, like you said, which I agree with too, many of the followers are not educated politically. I'm not talking, even the elites. Most elites, professors, doctors, engineers, lawyers. You see, we need to see active MBA, Nigerian Bar Association, participating actively, telling us some things about the law, or they are quiet now. Honestly, Nigerian Medical Association, it's not when you need salary increase. What is it? When the trainers left the station. When you put wrong people in places, what do you want? You see, you should be able to even have a say, becomes the minister of health. That's what we are saying. When they know you are powerful in NMA, they want to consult you. Now, look at it now. The Khan is saying you can't have a Muslim ticket. And now, the politicians they are running at us because they know the influence of Khan. They know the influence of PFN. The same thing, NMA, MBA, all these professionals. Now, and the civil society organization too, their voices should be loud, towards all this, so that we begin to now educate the followers on their rights, on what they need to know. INEC can come here, the National Orientation Agency, I've said it before, I'm saying it again, they have been so cold and so silent.
Dormant.
Dormant or docile. It is time for them to,
Thank you so much for your patience to watch from the beginning to the end. I hope you have learned something from the video you have just watched. The video you have just watched is to bring information to your doorstep and for educational purpose. It is not to demonize anybody. Let us watch continuously and see who can be able to make a sense out of every nonsense we are seeing. We must continue. We move. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter what they say. They will kill us. We'll kill them. At the end of the day, Biafra is here. Thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please kindly subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell so that you're notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you and remain blessed. Bye-bye. See you again.